Hi, I'm Manjit. 16% of the drones in worldwide use are in agricultural applications. That 16% translates to about 400,000 in number. We're going to see how it works, look at the economics of drones in agriculture, as well as the growth prospects. This type of agri-drone is specially suited for small farms, hilly areas, and places where other equipment cannot easily reach or is practical. Before the spraying begins, there is some prep work. The drone would have flown once earlier to draw the map. Multispectral scan would have been done, things like determining crop health and presence of invasive species. Then dangerous obstructions like telephone poles, wires would be marked and also confirmed for risk of leakage. Then an AI-assisted flight plan is generated with the requisite parameters, including droplet size for precision and spray height for optimum coverage. This entire process takes about 3 hours. In this small corner of the world, drones are transforming traditional farming practices by cutting costs and boosting yields, which in turn confers significant economic benefits. Farmers are seeing costs go down by 70 to 80% compared to manual spraying and 50 to 60% compared to using tractors. More significantly, the time required has reduced from 3 to 4 days to just a few hours. And drone service providers are earning good revenue by leasing drones or charging per acre as more farmers recognize this cost and time saving benefits. In this use case, the drone provider makes around 3,600 yuan or $520 for every 100 acres that can be done in a day. The farmer's traditional cost used to be 15,000 yuan or about $2,000 for every 100 acres. So by working with a drone service provider, the farmer saves the equivalent of almost $1,500, and that's a 75% cost reduction. It's a win-win situation for both farmers and drone service providers and strongly supports their livelihoods as well. This drone as a service business model also negates some of the cost and technical barriers to drone adoption by small farmers, as well as removes the licensing, regulatory burden, which may be quite taxing for smaller farmers. As of 2024, these drones have collectively treated over 500 million hectares across more than 100 countries while serving over 300 types of crops. Their use has resulted in cumulative water savings of about 222 million tons, cut carbon emissions by 26 million tons, which is equivalent to the annual carbon sequestration of 1.2 billion trees, which means capturing carbon dioxide from the air and trapping it in the ground. And chemical product usage has also dropped by half. So these environmental gains have been quite impressive, and their increasing adoption will only provide much required benefits. The use of these drones strongly support sustainable farming practices and can contribute to a strong front against further climate degradation. In terms of worldwide usage, these drones have become essential farm equipment in many corners of the world. In Asia, countries like China, India, and Japan are leading the way with the most drones deployed. The US has the second highest with very sophisticated precision farming. Europe follows after that with extensive use in vineyards, orchards, crops, etc. And other regions are at the early stage, but at the cusp of increasing adoption. So different regions present their own set of challenges and opportunities and pace of development. But the global drivers are the same. They include a mix of technological advances, precision farming adoption, labor shortages, regulatory support, rising food demand, and government incentives. Growth has been quite explosive. Their numbers have increased by 90% to over 400,000 in just 4 years, supported by affordable pricing solutions and business models. The price of a popular model dropped from $15,000 to just $5,000 in less than 3 years. So, what we're seeing here is a middle ground revenue forecast of about 19% CAGR, The market is expected to increase to 24 billion from 6 billion in 8 years. That's a fourfold increase. So definitely there's a lot of opportunity and optimism. So what's been your experience with this technology? Are you realizing the benefits, or rather are you seeing a lot of barriers to its adoption?